Starting with the name of Allah, who is the most beneficent and the most merciful. Dear students, in the previous lecture we have been learning about APA reference style. Some of the major points we have already discussed in the previous lecture, but some of the minor points were left, which we are going to discuss in this lecture. Let's discuss about APA headings. APA uses a system of 5 headings levels. Level 1 is actually the main heading, which is centered. Boldface, uppercase is used, and lowercase headings are used in first level. Level 2 is left aligned, it's on the left side. Boldface, uppercase and lowercase headings. Level 3 headings are indented, boldface, lowercase heading with a period. Indented. 4th level heading is also indented. It is also boldface, but it is italicized, and it is written in lowercase heading with a period. And level 5 heading is indented, italicized, lowercase heading with a period. So these are the 5 levels of headings which are used in APA style. Here we have a format showing how you can use level 1, 2, 3 and 4 headings. Here is an example of the 5 level heading system. The first level heading is in the center, like methods, level 1, and then in the method there are several points. Site of the study, level 2, participants population, level 2, and then teachers and students, it would be level 3, and results is level 1 again, because these are the major headings. Methods and results are the major headings, so level 1 would be used for writing them. And special ability, level 2, test 1, level 3, teachers with experience, level 4, teachers in training, level 4, test 2, level 3, kinesthetic ability, level 2. So this is the example format which you can follow when you are writing the APA headings. APA tables. In this slide we are going to learn about how we make tables when we are using APA reference style. Label tables with an Arabic numeral and provide a title. The label and the title appear on separate lines above the table, flush left and single spaced. Cite a source in a note below the table. Here is the example. Table 1. In the same way you would write in your thesis or in your research papers, you will write table 1, then the heading of the table. This is about internet uses in Europe. And then table, and after the table there would be the reference. And we would cite a source in a note, like note the data are adapted from the European Union and Russia 2007, retrieved from the website address. In the same way we would cite the table. APA figures, label figures with an Arabic numeral and provide a title, as we did in tables. You might provide an additional title centered above the table. Cite the source below and label and the title. The figure 1, Internet uses in Europe, adapted from European Union and Russia, statistical comparison by Eurostat Statistical Books 2007, retrieved from, here is the website address. Here are some additional APA resources which may be helpful for you if you visit them. If you want to study about APA in detail, you can explore it on the Prude All. Here is the website address. Prude Writing Lab, Composition Textbooks, Publication Manual of the American Psychological Association 6th edition, and APA's website. So these are the additional sources which you can use for learning. Here our topic of APA reference style is completed, and now we are moving to our other topic that is related with writing the research proposal. So we are studying our new topic that is related with the research proposal. In this lecture we are going to discuss what is research proposal and what are the elements of research proposal. First of all, what is a research proposal? A research proposal sets out the broad topic you would like to research, what the research would set out to achieve, means aims and objectives, how you would go about researching it, means methodology, how you would undertake it within the time available, means outline plan, and what the results might be in relation to knowledge and understanding in the subject, potential outcomes. So research proposal is actually a plan of your research which you would undertake. In the research proposal you would explain what is your topic which you want to explore, and what are the aims and objectives of your research, what are the research questions and hypotheses, what research methodology you would be using, and a complete outline of the plan, how you would be conducting that study and how you would be reaching the conclusion and results. Research proposal is actually the plan which we make before starting the study. Purpose of a research proposal: there are several important aims of making research proposal. Research proposal is intended to convince others that you have a worthwhile research project, and that you have a competence and the work plan to complete it. So through research proposal you are going to inform others that how important and significant your study is, and what you have and that you have the competence and the work plan to complete it, and you have a complete plan how you are going to undertake that study. The purpose of a proposal is to sell your idea to the funding agency. This means that the investigator must convince the funding agency that the problem is significant and worthy of study. The technical approach is novel and likely to yield results. The investigator and his or her research team is at the right group of individuals to carry out and accomplish the work described in the research proposal. So through research proposal, you are going to advertise your topic. You are going to explain how important and significant your topic of research is. And by making a good research proposal, you can win some funding for your research. Say for example, you are doing your MPhil or PhD, you can get funding from HEC if your research proposal is sound and well made. You can also win foreign funding to complete your study in some foreign university if your research proposal is strong. So you should be very careful when you are preparing your research proposal. Elements of research proposal. Here are some important elements which are the part of every research proposal. First of all, you have to give the title of your study. Then abstract. Abstract is actually the summary. Table of content. Then section A would be about introduction of your topic, review of the related literature, then methodology, what research methodology you are going to use in your study, then ethical or legal considerations, time schedule, and references. These are important elements of research proposal which are part of every research proposal. Title. When you are selecting a title for your research, you need to narrow it down, and you should try to select a topic which is specific, not general. In the previous lectures, we have already discussed how to select a topic and how to narrow down or limit or delimit it so that we can complete the study in time. What is abstract? Abstract is a summary of the whole research. Main purpose is to summarize the research, particularly the objectives and the main findings or conclusion, not to introduce the research area. Has a maximum word limit. An abstract should briefly re-establish the topic of the research, give the research problem and or main objectives of the research. This usually comes first. Indicate the methodology used and present the main findings and conclusions. So when you are writing the abstract of your research proposal, in the abstract is actually a summary, a short summary of what you are going to do, what is your topic of research, and what are the major objectives, and what is the research methodology which you are going to use, and what would be the major findings or conclusion. All these things are reported in one paragraph in a summarized form, and that summary is called abstract. After the abstract, there would be section 1, that is the introduction. You carefully listen to this lecture and try to understand each and every point of this, because after this lecture I am going to give you an assignment on making a research proposal. Then you have to prepare your own research proposal after selecting a topic. So in the introduction part, what you need to add in your research proposal, in the introduction part, there would be the background of the study, statement of the problem, research objectives, research questions, significance of the study, scope of the study, delimitations of the study, assumptions of the study, and definitions of key terms. These are the things which you need to include in the introduction part of your research. Now let's discuss these points one by one in detail to make it clear to you. Background of the study. The introduction is the part of the paper that provides readers with the background information for the research reported in the paper. Its purpose is to establish a framework for the research so that readers can understand how it is related to other research. So you would be giving the background of your study. In an introduction, the writer should, what you need to do in the introduction, writer should create reader interest in the topic. So the major important point that should be in your mind as a researcher when you are writing the introduction of your research proposal, you need to create interest in the topic. Lay the broad foundation for the problem that leads to the study. Place the study within the larger context of the scholarly literature and reach out to a specific audience. After the background of the study, we need to write about the statement of the problem. Statement of the problem or the problem statement describes the context for the study, and it also identifies the general analysis approach. A problem statement is a clear description of the issue. It includes a vision, issue statement, and method used to solve the problem. The 5 W's can be used to spark the discussion about the problem. A problem statement expresses the words that will be used to keep the effort focused, and it should represent a solvable problem. So this is all about problem statement. Here is forming a problem statement. Here are some examples how you can consider the 5 W questions while forming a problem statement. You need to read it by yourself for your understanding. Here is an example of how you can write a problem statement for your study. You need to review these examples. You need to read them for yourself. Now we need to study about the research objectives. The objectives of the research project summarizes what is to be achieved by the study. Objectives should be closely related to the statement of the problem. For example, if the problem identified is low utilization of the child welfare clinics, the general objective of the study could be to identify the reasons for this low utilization in order to find solutions. The general objective of a study states what researchers expect to achieve by the study in general terms. It is possible and advisable to break down a general objective into smaller, logically connected parts. These are normally referred to as specific objectives. Specific objectives should systematically address the various aspects of the problem as defined under statement of the problem, and the key factors that are assumed to influence or cause the problem. They should specify what you will do in your study, where and for what purpose. So these are the major things which you need to answer, which you need to keep in mind when you are writing the objectives of your study. That what you will do in your study, where and for what purpose. Objectives are actually the aims of your study. So objectives can be classified into the general objectives and specific objectives. General objectives: a study into the cost and quality of home-based care for HIV/AIDS patients and their communities in Zimbabwe, developed at the HSR workshop, for example, had as its general objective to explore to what extent community home-based care projects in Zimbabwe provide adequate, affordable, and sustainable care of good quality to people with HIV/AIDS, and to identify ways in which these services can be improved. These two objectives are the example of general objectives of the study. But in research, it is preferable and advisable to use specific objectives. So, this general objective was split up in the following specific objectives: to identify the full range of the economics, psychosocial, health, nursing care, and other needs of patients and their families affected by the AIDS; to determine the extent to which formal and informal support system address these needs from the viewpoint of service provider as well as patients. So these are the specific objectives. These are the areas which can be specified to conduct study on them. Third specific objective may be to determine economic costs of CHPC to the patient and family as well as the formal CHPC programs themselves. Number 4, to relate the calculated costs of the quality of care provided to the patient by the family and to the family or patients by the CHPC program; to determine how improved CHPC and informal support network can contribute to the needs of the person with HIV/AIDS and other chronically and terminally ill patients. Then final specific objective made is to use the findings to make a recommendation on the improvement of CHPC to home care providers, the donors, and other concerned organizations, including government. So this specific objective, this general objective, can be classified or can be split up in the following specific objectives. You can see that there are so many points which we can discuss in our study. Research hypothesis: we have already had a complete lecture about formulating the research questions and hypothesis. So if you want to review, you can study it from here, or otherwise you have learned in detail in the previous lectures about research hypothesis. It is based on your experience with the study problem. It might be possible to develop explanations for the problem which can then be tested. If so, you can formulate hypothesis in addition to the study objectives. As a hypothesis is a prediction of a relationship between one and more factors and the problem under study that can be tested. A hypothesis represents a declarative statement of the relationship between two or more variables. Examples I have already explained very well in the previous lectures, which were about formulating hypotheses and research questions. Here are some other examples of formulating hypothesis. You can review them by yourself because we have already discussed in detail in the previous lectures about them. Research questions are relevant to normative or consensus or census type research. How many of them are there? Is there a relationship between them? They are most often used in qualitative inquiry although their use in quantitative inquiry is becoming more prominent. A research question possesses a relationship between two or more variables, but phrases the relationship as a question. So research questions are in the questioning statement, and a hypothesis is in the declarative form. Here are some examples of research questions. Research questions can be like, what is the impact of a study skills program on students' achievement? What is the effect of teaching keyboarding skills to 6th grade students on word processing skills and quality of writing? How does an elimination of number and letter grades throughout the year, with the exception of quarter and semester grades? Next is significance of the study. In this part you have to give the reasons why you are conducting study on this topic, why it is important, and how it would be helpful for others, for the society, how this topic or how your research is significant to the society and the people who are relevant. Indicate how your research will refine, revise, or extend existing knowledge in the area under investigation. Note that such refinements, revisions, or extension may have either substantive, theoretical, or methodological significance. This can be a difficult section to write. Think about implications, how results of the study may affect scholarly scholarly research, theory, practice, educational interventions, and curricula, counseling policy. So in this part of the study, you have to convince others how your study is important, how this research is important, and how the results of your research would be beneficial for the society and the people who are concerned. So here we are stopping our lecture because we are running short of time now, and we would continue in the next lecture. Here are some questions which you need to keep in mind as researchers when you are thinking about significance of your study. You can read them, or else we can discuss them again in the next lecture. We can continue from here. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Keep learning, keep revising things for your exams. Allah Hafiz.